Hi, everybody. Welcome to the very first Chats with Children of 2024. And I'm delighted to say my first guest of the year is Kim Barnes, who's president at Phacilitate. And they are running Advanced Therapy Week next week in, look behind me, Miami. And it's going to be the 20th anniversary of the event. So I'm catching up with Kim out of a busy schedule, because I know she's thinking, God, I've got loads of things to get done. Why am I doing this interview? To give a preview of the event. So first of all, Kim, Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year to you too, Rizwan. I'm good,
So
thank you.
good. Well, it's lovely to see you. Now, let's talk about Phacilitate first before we talk about Advanced Therapies Week, because obviously Phacilitate it organizes the event and is a brand in its own right in terms of things that you do. So to explain to people a bit about Phacilitate, what Phacilitate is as a brand and what's under its brand.
Yeah, of course. So Phacilitate exists to help advance the next period of medicine. So our focus is really helping biotech on their commercialization journey and helping them from preclinical into phase 3, phase 4, and helping them along the way with their manufacturing strategy. We call it the commercialization strategy, but anything from price and reimbursement, manufacturing, clinical, and we do that through the events that we have, but also through our digital content arm, as well as our working groups and our membership platform. So that's the goal of Phacilitate. And under the brand of Phacilitate, as I mentioned, we have our events. We have a European event, we have a US event, which is Advanced Therapies Week next week. Then we also have our membership platform, which is for people that are just there to connect year round outside of events and just make sure that we're building that community, because I think in this industry, community is really important. And then we also have digital content and webinars and things like that to educate people year round as well. So we are a year round brand, but known primarily for our event.
Right. Now, advanced therapies and cell and gene therapy is now huge in terms of its profile within the sector. But as I said at the intro, you're celebrating your 20th anniversary of Advanced Therapies Week next week. So you, not you personally maybe, but the organization has been around a long time in terms of within this space. So have you seen the industry develop over those 20 years?
Yeah, so I joined Phacilitate 10 years ago, 11 years this year. So I've seen the industry develop quite significantly. So when I joined the business, the event, Advanced Therapies Week, was called then, I think it was Washington Leaders Forum. And it was around 400 people in the basement of a DC hotel. Very different now compared to where we're at, obviously, on the show. And I think the reason I'm bringing in the show growth here is because that shows how the industry has grown. We still have those 400 people that joined us, 20 years ago. Well, actually, it was 180, 20 years ago. They are still coming to the show, and they're the people that are, the leaders in this industry. And I think what I've seen is, 11 years ago, it was very much about us sitting there going, are these therapies ever going to work? And now we're sat there going, these therapies will work, but can we get people to pay for them? So I think we've moved on quite significantly from the science, and I think we've proven that the science works and we are getting really good patient response. However, it's the price points and the manufacturing and all of that lovely stuff that we talk about at Advanced Therapies Week that is now where the industry's at. And also, of course, investment as well. So investment has always been a conversation. I think I saw some stats the other day that the industry in the last year has decreased in things like 300 million in investment. And I think that's something that we always have to keep an eye on. And that is because obviously the recession and the downturn of the general economy, but also us trying to prove that we can get these therapies reimbursed and into patients outside of the clinical setting.
Right. Well, I know JP Morgan has been running this week, and I think it's been quite bullish, in fact, when you've seen some of the news stories coming out of that in terms of some of the acquisitions and stuff. So hopefully 2024 will be a more buoyant year compared to 2023.
I think it will be. And I speak to customers all the time. I speak to the industry all the time, and everyone's feeling much more positive about going into 2024. I think 2023 was a hard year, and we can't ignore that. But I do think we've had a lot of positive approvals this year, especially in the last month, as well as lots of acquisitions happening, like you said. And I think there's a more positive vibe coming out of the industry for 2024.
Great. Now let's talk more about Advanced Therapies Week, because actually, again, you just mentioned that when it first started, or even when you started 11 years ago, it was a different name and it was in Washington, I'm guessing, by that title. So how long has it been in Miami, and how has the audience profile changed, or has it changed in that time?
It's been in Miami since 2017. So we moved it from Washington, D.C. to Miami, mainly because anyone that is listening to this will know about the famous snowstorm that happened that really did make us realize that Washington wasn't the right place to run a show in January. We kept getting snowed out. So we moved it to warmer weather, and we moved that in 2017. So it's been in Miami for 8 years. But we will be, no, 7 years, sorry, but we will be moving it to San Diego in 2025. That's a press release was released a couple of weeks ago, and we will be making a big thing about that on site. And we're really excited to be moving it to West Coast. But yeah, Miami has been, since we moved to Miami, I think we had around 800 people in 2017 at the downtown Hyatt Hotel. And now we have around 2,000 people on site, which just shows, again, the growth of the industry. But I think when we moved it to Miami Beach, it created a very different experience, and everyone really, really loved the change of pace of the show.
Fantastic. All right. Now let's talk more about Phacilitate a week in terms of content then. So if people are coming next week, what can they expect to see when they come to the conference, which I should add is running from the 16th to 19th. So I haven't even said the date yet, but it's starting next week from the 16th and runs all the way through to the 19th. So what can people expect when they turn up to Miami?
So we've added 2 new pre-days to the show. So we've got a Women in Advanced Therapies pre-day, which is now oversubscribed, and we've got an investor pre-day as well. So the Women in Advanced Therapies is focused on advancing women in the industry, and we're going to be doing some roundtable discussions. We've got some really good ideas on how to just connect. Again, it's about community building and building these building women in the industry to come together and support each other. And then the investor pre-day is talking about obviously investment in the industry. So we've got a really strong room of investors, biotech, service providers, all coming together to think about the investment space, which is obviously a bit of a challenge right now for the industry. Then when we go into the full days of the week, we will be looking at, we've got different tracks. So we'll be looking at things around the clinical, so new data, new things that are coming out from the clinical side of things. Of course, we're going to be looking at gene therapy manufacturing and cell therapy manufacturing separately this year, because it's such a big area to help commercialize therapies. And obviously these and biotech do need to have more information and understanding around the manufacturing strategy, especially the early stage biotech. We'll then be looking at things like supply chain. We'll be looking at pricing, reimbursement, regulatory. So we're going to be looking at everything across the full value chain from preclinical to that phase 4. And that's because obviously we want to help biotech on that commercialization journey.
Great. Now, you also have awards, that's correct, is it not?
Yes, yeah. We have the awards dinner, which I'm really looking forward to. We launched that last year, and it had really good feedback, and we're excited to bring it back for a second year this year. We have 9 different awards. It's a masquerade theme, so people can bring a mask or they can do what they want, but it'll be a really nice evening, and that's just about us celebrating progress in the industry, because there has been so much progress, and it's about us celebrating new tech and people, individuals that have contributed to the industry. We're looking at supply chain innovation, patient, people that have really focused on patients and patient advocacy. So we've got a range of awards being given out, and I'm excited to celebrate people in that event.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to ask you 2 further questions. One is any of the content available digitally at all, or is it only a live event? And I'll say the last one to answer this particular question.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, there will be some content available digitally. We are going to be recording some of the sessions, and that will be available on the member platform. So the Phacilitate member platform, which is my 2 networks, you can sign up for it and it is free. So you can access the content free post-show.
Fantastic. And my final question actually is, you've been doing this event, as you said, as a business for 20 years now. You know as well as I do, because I do my event list, there are now so many cell and gene related events running throughout the year. So people watching this who might be looking at my event list going, God, there's a lot. And how do I decide which one I'm going to go to? Because I can't go to all of them. Why should they attend Advanced Therapies Week?
It's a good question. I think Advanced Therapies Week does bring together everyone from different parts of the industry. So it really does bring together the whole ecosystem of cell and gene therapy. And I think without everyone in the room, you can't make progress and move forward. So that's one really important thing. I think what Phacilitate is known for and what we do differently to others is we do invest in the experience. So what we believe is that by creating these moments on site, and obviously we can talk about the yacht party, we can talk about, we're going to have a Mardi Gras themed anniversary party on the beach. So there's all these things. And we invest in that because we know it's actually in those moments of natural connection where some of the best connections happen. And so I think that's our event is very heavy on the partnering and networking. And I think that's something that is something that's always fed back to us. And because we are investing heavily in that experience. So it's not just the actual partnering day to day, but the actual everything that happens outside of that in the week. We have something going on every single evening, every single morning. We're focused on wellness. We have yoga, we have a fun run. So we really try and create a week experience for people to come away on that Friday to have met hopefully all 2,000 attendees and have made connections. And that's really important. And we also focus, again, because of our position in the industry, we focus on making sure that the right people are in the room. And we've really made sure that that is a important priority for us this year. So every single person that's in the room has gone through a manual human vetting process as well.
Fantastic. Well, look, Kim, I wish you lots of success with the event next week. Obviously, safe travels to Miami.
Thank
So
you.
there you go, viewers.
You.
If you would like to learn more about Advanced Therapies Week and you haven't registered yet, the link will be above the video, so you can click on that. And if you've got any questions for Kim, she's on LinkedIn. You can put questions in the comments or you can message her directly as well. So Kim, it's lovely to see you again. Have a wonderful 2024. I look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future. And viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic, happy, healthy and safe and successful 2024. And until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.